What a week, y'all. Cheers, y'all. How's it going? It has been a roller coaster of training the last few weeks. You may have seen some of my updates from last week just in terms of high mileage weeks, low mileage weeks, and really just having a hard time finding my stride, no pun intended, just in terms of balancing whatever's going on with my knee. I would say I'm about 80 to 85% sure it's some form of IT band syndrome. I've had issues with it in the past. This is much more manageable than it has been in the past. The main issue that has myself and my coach concerned is it doesn't really seem to be getting a whole lot better, or it will get better, but then all of a sudden it'll just flare back up again. So I'll get into a little bit of what this week was like later on in the video. But like I said, just a roller coaster of trying to find my stride, find that consistency in training to help me build towards those goals that I'm working towards later in this year, specifically the 4-state challenge coming up in April, which I am super excited about. But obviously planning to run 43 miles in a 24-hour period, I need to get some higher mileage runs in. So trying to figure out how to get this knee recovered, get back on track with training in a healthy way so that I can start adding more mileage to build up that volume in anticipation of that race. So as I've done with training videos in the past, I'll kind of go through day to day all of my running, specifically focus on my training runs. This was a solid week of running, but then also how my knee has been feeling and how I've kind of been navigating that, because that is definitely going to influence how my training goes this week. My mileage for February was very, very low. If you remember, coming into this week, I think I was at 33 or 34 miles total for the month, and was on pace to hit one of my lowest mileage months since I think 2018. So obviously February has been very low running, trying to recover this knee, but started to get back on track with this week's training, but then that started to fizzle out towards the end of the week. So that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the workouts themselves. The nice thing was, starting off this week on a strong foot, I had taken a lot of time off over the last couple weeks, as I mentioned, so my legs were feeling relatively refreshed. So I kicked things off on Monday with a 60-minute endurance run, nothing too crazy, just nice, easy, controlled pace. All in all, I hit 6.34 miles for that run at about a 9:29 pace overall, so I felt really good about that run. In particular, what felt great was I finished that run and my knee was feeling okay. I didn't have the same stiffness, the same soreness that I had started to get used to when I would finish a run. Usually a few hours after the run, my knee, the IT band, would really start to stiffen up, really start to get irritated. And then more importantly, the next day, Tuesday, which luckily for me was a rest day, normally the day after a run, I was getting used to waking up with a lot of stiffness in the leg, and Tuesday my knee actually felt pretty much back to normal. So I took that as a great sign. I was recovering a lot faster than I was at the start of the month, so that gave me a lot to look forward to. Moving into Wednesday, starting to dial up the intensity just a little bit, nothing too crazy. I am in a steady state block of training, which is just outside of my comfort zone, just outside of that endurance pace. So Wednesday's run was 2 repeats of 25 minutes at an SSR pace with 4 minutes of walking rest in between. So again, felt very, very good on this run. I hit just over 3 miles in the first 25 minutes at an 8:13 pace, and then I hit 3.12 miles in the second 25-minute interval at an 8-minute pace. All in all for that run, 7.55 miles. Average pace for the entire thing was 9:02, and again, felt very good after this run. Again, a little bit of that stiffness, but didn't feel bad by any means. Felt so much better than I was after my runs towards the beginning of the month, so took that as a very, very good sign. I should also add here, basically every day I've been doing some form of IT band rehab, so I've posted about the rehab routine, specifically the intensive routine that I've done. I've been doing that most days, or on days where I'm taking a break from that. A lot of flexibility work, especially in my hamstrings and my glutes, to hopefully alleviate some of that irritation that I may be feeling on the IT band. So I was very confident after Wednesday's run, feeling really good, but definitely very nervous about Thursday's run, because for Thursday's run, it was 2 hours total of running. Again, at the SSR pace, it was 6 repeats of 12 minutes at SSR pace with 8-minute rest in between each one, but it was jogging rest. Again, I've been working very, very closely with my coach over the last couple weeks, letting him know constantly how my legs have been feeling, and he's really left it up to me. If I'm feeling up to a run, great. If not, I let him know I'm not going to do the run that day, and he'll kind of help me to tweak my training, which has been really, really helpful. And again, one of the, I think, biggest pros of working with a coach is being able to manipulate your training plan in real time based off of the feedback that I'm giving him on how I've been feeling. So I was a little bit nervous headed into Thursday, but was feeling good after the runs that I'd had earlier in that week. So I went into it very confidently and left that run also feeling very confidently. The run went very, very well. It was 15.29 miles. So basically half of the distance that I had for the entire month of February going into this week. Really, really strong run. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes overall with the warm-up included, 8:31 pace overall as well. So felt really, really good with that run. My leg was a little bit stiff after this run. It also rained the majority of the time, which wasn't great, but felt pretty good by the end of it. And after stretching my legs out after the run, really no real stress or irritation in my IT band, which I took as another very, very good sign. Headed into Friday, I was feeling really good for this week, but as anyone who has suffered from IT band syndrome will know, there are a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows, and it is really hard to pinpoint exactly what's having you feel better when you're riding those highs compared to what could trigger one of those lows, what could trigger that inflammation and irritation. So Friday was a rest day, felt really good. Moving into a pretty steep mileage weekend, nothing too crazy. A 90-minute endurance run scheduled for Saturday, and then 60 minutes scheduled for Sunday with some tempo work in between. Went into Saturday's run, again, lots of rain, not the most comfortable run, but felt pretty good afterwards. All in all, it was 9.88 miles for that endurance run, 90 minutes, 9:07 pace overall. Felt really good, but towards the end of that run, I did start to feel that familiar stiffness, that IT band irritation start to creep up towards the end. And then especially by the end of the day, Saturday, my knee was in not rough shape, but definitely sore. Especially I was noticing it anytime I was on stairs or anything like that, up and down the stairs. Again, if you've ever had issues with IT band, you know how horrible a stairwell can be. And so started to get concerned that maybe I had overdone it. I had a lot of confidence from early on in the week, feeling really good with some healthy miles, but then for whatever reason, the endurance run on Saturday, maybe it was just a little bit too much mileage for the week. It was building up too much too fast, but started to experience that same stiffness. By the time I woke up Sunday morning, it was definitely significantly better. Again, I'm still recovering a lot faster than I was at the start of the month, but my knee was relatively stiff, so I ultimately made the call not to do Sunday's run, take it easy. I had a pretty solid week, intensity-wise, mileage-wise. I just felt good to get in a solid week of training, so I was comfortable with that and okay missing that run on Sunday. And that's sort of the delicate balance, the delicate dance that I'm in right now, is basically day to day trying to evaluate how my leg's feeling. Am I feeling healthy enough to run? And actually had a very, very frank conversation with my coach this morning, just talking to him about some of the frustrations that I'm experiencing. I feel like I'm making good progress, but then as soon as I start to make that progress, I got to put the brakes on again and dial back because that knee starts to stiffen up. So I think over the next couple weeks, maybe even month at this point, I feel like it's going to continue to be a really delicate balance of doing a lot of the rehab work, a lot of the flexibility, a lot of the strength exercises to help heal and improve the inflammation or reduce the inflammation in my knee that I'm experiencing in that IT band, but balancing that with not wanting to totally stop training. I don't think I'm at a point where I need to totally stop training because on days that I've done it right, we'll say, I've been able to run pretty much pain-free and haven't experienced a lot of the side effects associated with IT band syndrome. If anytime I went out for a run, I was feeling pain as soon as I started, then I think I would be a little bit more confident saying like, hey, I just need to take a step back, need to rest, let this recover fully. Even with all that going on, it was an incredibly solid week of training, 39.06 miles for the week. That's actually my second highest mileage week so far this year in 2021. So I felt really good about that. And my total mileage for the month was 69.62 miles. So I got well over half of my weekly mileage just in this past week alone. Felt relatively good until the very end of the week. So overall, felt great about this week's training. It gives me hope. But again, I just kind of have to keep myself in check, keep my goals in check, and remind myself not to put on too much too fast. Remember that it's all about building base at this point. It's all about endurance and healthy miles. So that's where we're at so far in 2021. And as we bring February to a close, I am at 213.12 miles on the year. Feeling good. Definitely a little nervous with what's going on with my knee, but confident and also feeling reassured in how my knee has been responding to some of the things that I've been trying throughout training. So hopefully that will continue to improve, and I will check in again next week with another week of training to let you know how things are going. Definitely stay tuned for a video that will likely drop towards the end of this week with some exciting announcements about a possible new race coming up later, or I guess midway through 2021. Could be very exciting, just trying to nail down the final details to that and actually confirm it, but hoping to have that confirmed midway through this week and make the official announcement later this week. So make sure to stay tuned for that. If you have not already, definitely subscribe to the channel to make sure you get a notification when that video goes live. Should be later this week. Very, very excited. And I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. That just helps other people find the content as well. But training so far, 2021, off to a good start. Not as strong as I would like it to be, but I think there's plenty of time left in this year. So I just got to remind myself to take it easy, enjoy the miles, enjoy the running. But thank you as always for tuning in. I hope your training is going very well. Hopefully maybe even better than mine. Let me know in the comments below what you're training for. What are your goals coming up in 2021? But as always, thank you for joining me. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Cheers.